Okay, to jump straight into this video, I'm going to show how I pass my $50,000 evaluation accounts. My current one right here, you can see I'm at $52,810 with a take profit trader account. And this is day 3 out of my 5 trading days, almost at my $3,000 price target, my profit target, in 3 days. And I'm going to kind of show this is going to be a vague video in a way. I'm going to show my strategy really fast as I possibly can without making too long of a video. So I'm going to jump straight into this. On the 5 minutes where I start, I use no indicators for plenty of reasons. I don't know if I even just said that right, but plenty of reasons why I don't use indicators, and I can explain that in a later video. But here we go. I draw a support and resistance line, right? I identify where my support and resistance lines are going to be. And I do this on the 5-minute time frame so that I get this on the 1 minute, my main support and resistance that usually are affected quite a bit. Because if you do this on the 1 minute time frame, you're going to have lines everywhere. So I go on the 5-minute and use it as my overall direction and my overall support and resistance, my main ones, right? The 1 minute time frame is where I enter it. That's my sniping, where I enter and exit. That's my sniping time frame. So basically, for me to be a fast scalper, I look at past patterns and my support and resistance lines. So what I do is, based on past patterns, it tends to bounce at this support, right? Which is why we identified the support here. It bounces at the support every single time it touches it. And when it doesn't, it's a fake out and pulls back above it. That tells me it's a valid support and resistance line. Now, notice some people, they try to draw their lines like at the wicks. I don't do that. You can almost view mine as an average, but it bounces here at the support multiple times. And if you can, some people can intentionally blur their eyes. If you would blur your eyes for me, you can kind of see the average area that it does tend to bounce here. And when it does break, it snaps back above it. It doesn't like to trade below that support. That tells me it's valid. This is just my strategy. This is the way I trade. So just to throw that out there, other people can, have their own ways. I don't use ascending trend lines as a ascending support and resistance. Okay, I don't use it that way. I use it to identify my higher lows and higher highs. It's pretty straightforward. You don't need a moving average to see when trends are breaking. You don't need to use the trend line as a entry or exit area, in my opinion. You can. There's people that do it, but it's failed me more than it has made me succeed. So straightforward. I use the 5-minute support and resistance. Then I go to the 1 minute time frame. Now to the stop loss. Again, I'm trying to do this as fast as possible. My stop loss, just say I were to buy at support level. Guess what? My stop loss is very close, because if the candle closes below my support, then I'm cutting the loss. Will you get fake outs? Absolutely. But this has worked for me. And when you get a funded account, with my strategy, what I do, it continues to, succeed. Of course, it's been doing it for years for me. So if a candle closes below support, that's the stop loss. That's where I sell for a loss. If it broke it, like I did here multiple times, I'm not selling because it pulled back and closed above it, It's like somebody sitting on the edge of the Grand Canyon. Their legs are the wicks. They're dangling. Yeah, it's a little risky, of course, but their bodies are still being supported by the ground. They're not falling. So in this case, it is absolutely still holding the support. And I would sell at a lower high, because if bears wanted to take control, then what's it going to do? Make lower highs and lower lows, or double top. So in that case, I'm selling at a lower high so that I can walk away with my bag. I can secure myself. And walk away. I'm not trading this whole thing up. All right, let's drop the egos. This is not about whose trade is bigger than the others. This is about walking away, supporting and benefiting your higher version of yourself that you want to be, or your family that you have. So again, let me show you an example here. The candle closed below it. So in the past, there was a few that did this. Just say you were to buy at this ascending support. I say that because I don't do this, but if it were to close below it, yeah, you would take a loss there, and then it would go back up, and you'd be like, oh no, right? But then this is what would happen. This one closed below it, and then some people would say, well, it did this before. I'm going to add here because it's probably going to do it again. So I'm going to add here. They start adding to their longs, and it just drips, right? So you cut as soon as it closes below that support line, wherever you're buying. If you're not buying at your support level, you're already doing something wrong. You have to be buying at a support, even if it were to be this here. If it were to be this here, if you're buying longs, if you're buying calls, whatever you want to say, if you're buying that, you're buying at a support. You shouldn't be buying here. You shouldn't be buying here. You shouldn't be buying here. You don't have FOMO. You shouldn't be buying anywhere up here. You should only be buying right when it touches support. Every time it touches support. If a candle closed below support, you're taking the loss. If the candle doesn't, then you're only going to take the profit to its previous highs, right? So it would be a nice little profit. Again, at the top left here on Tradeovate, you can see there is a time that counts by the seconds. You can watch the close of the candles there. And yeah, that's basically straightforward there. I only buy when I'm touching a good deal. I only buy when I'm touching a support level, and my stop loss is super close because I'm buying at the support level. And of course, guys, for the shorts aspect of it, it's just vice versa. Exactly what I just said, but the opposite for the short aspect of it. So to be clear here, this is a very vague way to explain my trading strategy. If you want a more in-depth version, just let me know. If I get enough requests, I'll make a longer video explaining it more in depth. I'm also doing live streams every day. If you do want to come by and tune in, I'm mainly doing it for a trading journal for myself, so I can go back and analyze my own trades in real time without seeing, the hindsight of things. Yeah, so I appreciate everyone watching this and the people in the Discord. This video is mainly for you. So I'll see you guys around there. And I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know how everything's going. And I'll see you guys around.